few days ago, like I think it was 2 weeks ago, after the week I came back, and I did more or less explain to you guys how was the Berlinale, what we did there, and the whole amount of stuff that is going on. Mostly regarding productions and how the European funds productions in terms of co-productions and collaboration works. Berlinale pretty much is like, I will say, I mean, I cannot compare Cannes with Berlinale because I haven't been in Cannes. But in my opinion, probably how Cannes looks regarding Berlinale, it could be pretty much like comparing like Tribeca probably in the States. That's how Berlinale works. Basically, the amount of stuff that are going on there is like, first of all, like I said to you like a few weeks ago, they're very organized. And you have to be very early there to know to pick your tickets. If you have like a student pass or press pass, it depends on the pass you're going. For the competitions, there is different categories to compete, mostly for the new talents. And there's one of the things I'm going to focus today mostly, is the part of new talents that is in Berlinale, because that's focused on everyone that wants to compete, from students that in their countries they're studying stuff, or people that they're not students but they filmmakers, and like they're starting in their career in the last 3 years or 4 years, and they're doing like stuff regarding that. Some of you already met Lude Monaco last semester. She was competing with her portfolio. She did the Masterclass last semester here, and like I said, the environment is just, I would say there's quite a like family thing, very supportive. There's actually people during the Berlinale and the new talents. They met each other like previous years, and they came in basically competing after they meet in the previous Berlinale. So as I said, it's just like you start meeting people, you do contacts there, and I mean, like I said, you don't have to get like sometimes it's about determination, but as well it's just like it takes time. There's projects that were screening there, like small projects, like you can say 5 minutes. They probably took them more than a year to do it, but you know, probably because of the budget, because you know, even with a limited budget, they're working on that because they want to do it properly. Some of the stuff they've been done in 1 month. Actually, I remember that one of the documentaries I saw, the editing of that documentary, it was done like January, like probably 2 weeks before they competed. The final cut for the documentary. So I mean, there's different kind of ways of how they show they work, but you learn from the experience of them and talking with people around, like from the professionals, from the ones they're starting. So that's the thing that actually I really like about it. So, what to expect from Berlinale? It's a must experience for anyone involved in the film industry, anyone that wants to be involved with the film industry. I mean, like I said, you don't need to, you really don't need to be part of the film industry. I know people that they love film, they for all their lives, and actually I met someone there that basically, she always loved film. There was actually a friend of Yemi, and she said that, you know, that she got a job related with that. She's basically was going from festival to festival, and then she's just making like a report to the companies in Italy that actually from China that invest in some of the films. So, you know, this is the kind of things that goes on. There's many different positions in this industry that, you know, it can lead you to another one or to another one. If you want to be a film critic, if you want to be a filmmaker, an actor, a producer, a director, Berlinale is a big start point. And why is a big start point? Because how I can really compress on that, I mean, you have all kind of people in there. From some of them they already have a career, some of them are actually there to get new talents and to see new stuff. And how actually does work, I mean, in terms of funds on the film funds in Europe, how does it work in the co-productions between all the countries? Not even in Europe, but I'm talking about South America, which is growing a lot. Africa as well. And East Europe by itself is growing. So the amount of things that mostly independent film, it's in co-productions, it's growing in that thing you cannot even imagine. I mean, you can get any kind of opportunities. Even the smallest one can be a huge start for anyone. So that's why I think that is a must. Berlinale it does normally 11 days in Berlin. It's held in Masterclass, the majority of the events, but there's also venues around the city that, you know, that is not mostly is concentrated in just one part, which is, you have, like, I think between Sony Center, there's at least 3 or 4 buildings in there that is around, as well, the museum, the film museum, which is just like cinemas. And one of the things that actually, for me, it was really impressed is how huge those cinemas are inside. I mean, I remember, like, even the ones that are not held inside of Masterclass, it's like probably like 50 minutes away in a bus from where we, like, everything concentrated. There was a massive, it was kind of a theater, but as well a film theater. It's like twice, probably, I don't know, like a normal film cinema room here in England. Even in London, I think the biggest in London I was been is the O2, and it was like even twice the O2. So that was actually really massive.
That's actually a theatre one.
Yeah, there is a theatre one, yeah, but it's actually, I mean...
No, it is a theatre, but only during the Berlinale they allow them to screen films.
Yeah, it was actually really massive.
It was.
It's like, there was another one, I don't remember. I think it was when we saw Logan, probably, that was the other one. Yeah, that as well, it was massive. I was like really impressive about it, and actually was very comfortable. I don't have any. So the film festival was founded in 1951 in West Berlin and has been celebrated annually since 1978. The one important point of Berlinale is the European film market, and yes, that's one of the points basically like that I've been saying. The European film market is very big and it's very important for anyone. The European film market is a film trade, very held simultaneously in Berlinale, and basically is held in just one building. I'll show you pictures later because I have some pictures. So it's just one building, 3 floors, and around that floor you have like a labyrinth of stands of each country, and each country inside of those stands there is the few productions companies that basically they represent those production companies that are in their countries, and through that there comes the co-productions. That's how it works. And one point that is very important I want to make is most of them are basically I would say it's not a partnership, but the film funds, the European film funds, it's all the time there. I remember like seeing them in every screen that the European productions was held there. So that's very important. Everyone can actually apply for the European film funds. So that's an important point I probably want to search about. And actually, I'll give more information the further weeks. There's the photos of, that's the main building, the palace, where mostly all of the premieres and the ceremony was held on. These were the winners of this year, which as well there is a list of them. There is the links that basically is in here in the presentation, and you can have a look later and I can show you what to expect from Berlinale. The Berlinale Film Festival. So yeah, this is the one. Market. Yeah, as you see. This is pretty much like some of, I think I have the video is working, if I'm not. Yeah. Those little seats that you see downstairs, yes. There is people, sorry for my voice. There's people actually back at those days that it was most of them were filmmakers that basically were showing like they come and pitch the idea to those productions companies that are in those different countries, and that's how it works. They pitch the idea. If someone is interested, they will get a producer, they'll get someone to back them up, and the funds. There was actually couple of films, short films actually. One of them, it was the silver winner. It was Portuguese, and he got into the competition, and his short film was funded just by himself, and without any help from any help for any kind of funds. There was a kind of an interview that I need to search. I didn't put it, but definitely I'll link it in the website, because will be in the Next Move Arts website, and you will see like there's, like I said, there's different kind of situations in when filmmakers, and mostly as well students, they bring there and they present their work. So like I said, it's inspirational in some of the things that they show, because it gives you a different perspective of things, and it did really give to me a different perspective of things. So yeah, this is the supermarket. Like they say that this is like 3 or 4 floors. All this, like you can see, is like different. They have the project labs presentation, the Berlinale hub marks. Actually, this is a scanning I did from this little thing here. You can come over later on and have a look, because there's different kind of things, and I can, even you can later on I can send you some of the scans I did. There's most of the things that are going on in the supermarket, in the European film market as well, in terms of business. They as well give master classes about how you pitch in your stuff, how you can ask for the funds that are available around Europe or in each country. So that's actually a very good point to go if you go into next year to the Berlinale. The festival program. So there's a few different, let's say, classifications. You have the competition, which is like for the feature-length film. You have the panorama, which is the compromised independent films. You have the forum with its experimental and documentary film. I saw some of the experimental documentary films. Actually, those were from Canada. Quite a little bit weird, I have to say. But there was one specifically that it was very interesting, because it was very interesting at the beginning. At the end, it was really like you can get really like a very like. Mostly visually, you can get very tired, but it was really interesting to do. So basically, they took like still pictures and they changed like the monochrome of those still pictures, and it was just like per second. It was very like quick. And I remember like you had to close one of your eyes to see how that basically looks like a 3D movement just with one still picture. It was very interesting. At the very end, after the 5 minutes, you get very, very tired. But I guess those kind of experiments they did, and they show, it can be anything. And people sometimes say, like, that's very weird, that's not, like, you can actually compete with anything you have in your mind. It doesn't matter. There is actually, like I said, there is no limits regarding creativity. The generation one is the compromised mixture of short film lengths for children and youth. This year, actually, it was very strong because there was a lot of animation going on. I met actually in the American party. We were invited. We did really met. Yeah, we don't laugh about it. We met one of the guys that he was a producer from. He was a producer, right? Or he was a director. I can't remember it.
Both.
There was both, actually.
Both.
Yeah, there was both. They came to us. We started to talk, and there was actually. In the party, they were screening part of the trailer of the animation that actually was still going on in process. They just did part of the production, but they were like there to pitching part of the idea to keep going with funds. And they were coming from Mexico, I think it was Colombia or Mexico, Chile.
Or Peru.
Yeah, and they would start to talk, and like I said, these people, they just work. In terms of work hard. Yeah, they do, because they do believe in what they actually. I remember, like, we were at that party and they were talking about that, and they really believed in what they were doing. And even if it cost a little bit of effort, but it was actually how they were like telling about the product. Visually, actually, was really good. I was getting really interested, but how they actually they were talking about it, how they were working about it, and the funny things that sometimes happen. I mean, that's part of the process, and I think sharing this kind of stuff is just what makes makes kind of the beauty, but at the same time, you can see that there's more people in that same situation as you. So that was the thing about this kind of events. The Perspective Dutch is basically for German films. I went to a few of them. I don't know if you, Sarah, had more time to go, because you can understand it better than me.
I made a point of going to a couple because I haven't seen German films in ages.
Yeah. I think I had enough for the hour of Masterclass in German I did about funds, because I spent 1 hour listening in German, a Masterclass about how they fund films in Germany. I do understand a little bit, but not enough. There's the Berlinale shorts, which is the compromise domestic and international shorts, the one I will focus in the next few minutes, and the retrospective, which is classical films previously shown at Berlinale. Actually, in this part of retrospective, there was one short, kind of a short length. I think few people remember, like from Cambridge Film Festival, one of the films in 3D, GOG 3D. I think some of you got it. They were there, actually. I didn't have time to actually go, because I already actually met the editor and the guy who actually did the presentation in Cambridge, and I spoke with them quite a lot. But yeah, they were there as well, presenting it. So yeah, that was that's how it really like is dividing in this thing. There is a link in here. You always can click, because basically I put the links and then I'll send this to everyone. Courage against a lot. That was the topic for new talents this year. And why don't you get a real job was the concept of this year. This is the section for new talents competing. And now, if I could just see through there. This is what happened this year. Courage in actions, and courage in contrast. So this is like, most of these things you can see. They basically, for all the people competing in there, most of them just like they're competing just with their portfolio, and they just go to make contacts and basically learn a little bit more about the master classes and how they just really can get better in the industry, or even new things in terms of producing. Because some people, like I said, I've been learning things about producing just this year. I haven't done that much in producing in the past, and I've been working a lot in that. I'm not sure actually if I wanted to get that path or not, because I remember like 6 years ago, my path actually was just directing, and I ended up 3 years doing acting, and then in acting I came back from directing, and then directing I'm going to producing. So you never know what you're going to end up doing, and most of the people there, they're doing the same. I was talking with some people that they were just there. I remember one of them asked me, like, "Oh, you're competing?" It's like, no, not competing, but probably we'll do next year. And like I said, it's just like there's a lot of workshops going on. They're very useful, and they're actually inside of the program because we have not only like that. You know, you pay your accreditation and you're allowed to go to some of the stuff there, because you just need to schedule the timetable, because they have like a huge timetable, but you can schedule everything properly. So that's like how everything goes in there. I wish I could have more time to show you more stuff, but actually you can have the access to that. You have the links, and I precisely put everything so you can have a look on this. Like I said, the Creative European media is most of the time engaged with what's going on in Berlinale. There's as well this link, which is actually part of the short films that are going on. I like this quote because like creativity takes courage. Actually, that was part of one of the workshops that I went. Filmmaking can be a risky venture, it's true, not merely from an aesthetic and financial perspective, but also on a political and personal level. This year, basically, Berlinale was very political. And when I say political, I don't say like who is against or you know, supportive about in terms of ideals. It wasn't not about ideals. It was about mostly concerning of the situation that the world goes on. And it was interesting because there was people showing different situations in their countries. And you ended up realizing that the situation is the same no matter where you go. There's people talking about education, about how education needs to get better, how the country they need more education in terms of like different kind of views. Actually, that was a Mexican short film who won the silver bear this year, and I was actually there in the screening, and he was talking about how his short film was about being supportive about how his country really needs a better education to new generations, and how he actually worry about that. And it was quite emotional in a way, how people were explaining their different points of views. And I think that gives it the perspective of how important is your job comparing media nowadays. Because we actually, I won't say that in terms of fiction and non-fiction, we cannot manipulate what we have. But there's a difference between, in my opinion, how nowadays media and everything is manipulating all the information, and how us can actually give the information to the public and the audience. It's different. You can see in a different ways. In my opinion, I think it's more realistic, and you can take it, I don't know, in the way you want to take it. It's different, and you can take any message from that you want. Of course, the director has their own message, but you can take it your own as well. With media in general, it's very different in my point of view. So that's my perspective of things. Courage against odds. Yeah, like I said, Creative Europe Media was very present this year. Mostly every year they're very present, but I think this year they're most present because basically the growing of independent film in Eastern European countries and other countries that basically like they're competing like in a major way this year. There's a new wave of talents did not earn their own recognition as cinematic pioneers by playing it safe. These actually were mostly masterclasses going on, and they were very interesting. Actually, they are in the book I told you. Where our family, the Berlinale, celebrated homecoming and forming talents. It's a small world. Like I said before, that was actually how I saw Berlinale. It was kind of like a big family. Everyone was approaching everyone. Doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter what it was, where you come from. It doesn't matter where you were there. Everyone is approaching people and like meeting new people, and that's a good thing. I think so. I think sometimes me coming from another country as well and been living in England for 6 years, it's just like, I don't know. I think sometimes people lose this kind of take your own, like, to say, like, you take your guts and you say, like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna approach this person. You need really to go out there and just put yourself and learn. You cannot close your mind and basically just like, no, I'm gonna stick with this because this is. I understand because I'm a person with morals. Everyone has morals, but as well, you need to go further, a little step further in all that, because that is what will give you like probably like what you actually need. Even if it's not what you. Even if it's not what actually you think, or it's not your morals, or it's okay, but at least you're learning something more, and probably that will help you to really put something more in your projects or in your inspiration in life or creativity, because it's what actually everything comes from. So that's a process, and that's actually what I took from Berlinale. Everyone was different ages, different experiences, different points of views, a lot of them, but at the same time you engage with them and everyone becomes kind of a family. So I think that was the most positive part of it, because at least you can make contacts, people get back emails to you, which I got. So, you know, and you probably someone needs, like, I need someone for that project or this or that, and people jump in project after project after project. Whereas like a kind of a fund, they finish for 6 months, they are in a project. That's how things are going on. This was the masterclass I went with the Adobe company. It was very interesting. When I say very interesting, it's just like it was at 10 o'clock in the morning, with a cinema room completely full, and I was very, very sleepy, I have to say, that day. But it was really interesting because these guys, they show different kind of clips, which is actually some of them I put in the link here on YouTube, and I put the names of each one of them. They talk about the freelancer recording mixer, about the objectivity of reality. These are basically are my notes during that masterclass. Don't overdo things, just use the tools you have it. Martin Steyer said that levels of sound and how this helps us in the perspective and empathic of how to understand movies. It's another part of storytelling. It is true. There's a couple of clips they show, even the ones in German, that you probably don't understand what people are saying, but just with, the narrative of the cinematography plus the sound, it tells everything. And you can see that you could probably don't understand anything of what's going on. There wasn't even subtitles on that clip. It was like around 2 minutes. But you do understand what's going on. And it was a very good perspective of it. And how they work in their sound. I don't know, it's just like, you see them, these people probably start like 10 years ago or even less, some of them. But they're just there because, they love their job. And so actually one of them said that he ended up in Dolby, not even knowing that actually he wanted to work for sound. And another one as well explained it, how actually they work in some of the cinemas. When they build the cinemas, the company, people that basically, like in terms of engineering, some of the engineering department, they go to those, some of them they go to the cinemas, they building up just to see and check in terms of like sound and how in terms of the movies they produce and in sounding are gonna be in those cinemas. So it was very interesting the way they were explaining it. Matthias as well said that turn your limitation is something good. It's true. He explained that sometimes with something really like that you see that, okay, I just have this, and it's not like a big equipment or whatsoever, but in terms of sound, but you can actually really turn something like very small into something really good, tiny things. Adrian said that he contacted Mika and spent just 1 week recording sound separated from the movie, because if they will record the sound at the same time they should, the cinematographic quality wouldn't be the same. And as the camera moved, the sound quality also changed in an environment that the noise is too loud or intense. This actually, I didn't found I put the link actually here, because through that link you can actually access the clip. It's actually, this link, it's all the work, like it's kind of a portfolio of him, when all his work, so you actually can access one of the films. That is Machines. It's called Machines. The masterclass, your engagement has consequences. This is pretty much kind of an inspiration, and it was actually made by one of the juries, of the international juries in Berlinale. There is a video online, which is actually, I was there, so you can actually check this video, because it's in Facebook. It's around 1 hour, so you can actually sit down and and check actually how actually it basically portrays some different kind of points of views. The collaboration of two separate teams with one experienced project. They don't know about what the other is doing with the machine. What do you do with the space you have, the time given, and the ideologies you approach? That was what actually telling before. I mean, it's how we actually like, we have all this wall, every kind of points of things that you have, you think that, okay, what am I going to do with this? Everything that you have that surrounds you, it's material for you. And that's what actually he's telling, like, okay, you are, like, your presence in the world, your engagement in the world, it can actually have a consequence in what you do in your job. And he's not a filmmaker, he's actually an artist, but as well he's an architect. He's from Iceland. But he's actually as well, he does as well some producing in some films as well. How do we take for granted the things we have? Mostly. And that's something that I can actually say a lot, that I think we are living in a society nowadays that it takes a lot for granted. I mean, it depends on as well which part of the world we live, that I can say, because it's just refreshing in terms of like how people, I mean, for example, England in a way has all this kind of tools and have the funds and have how the society support artists itself in such a general way. And if you go outside, any other country is so different. But like Germany is very different. I have colleagues in Germany, actors, that they was telling me like how difficult and hard it is for them to. I mean, it's difficult to make a living, but it's difficult when you have actually a completely non-support for that. And here you do have it. That's the difference. There's countries in Europe that actually there's getting worse and worse, but that doesn't drop the quality of their work. Actually, it gets better. So you have to stop questioning this stuff. Like, okay, you don't have this, but you have all this. That you can be like in the same level as any blockbuster out there. So there's things that you actually need to question yourself. It's a good point in terms of like how much value we give to what we have. Separately of the ups and downs we have in your life, that's true. But I think that's the thing. I mean, we need to start to give value to what we have. Because some people doesn't have that luxury, and yeah, I mean, I think that's a way you need to really start to think about that. Climate change as well. You talk about climate change. He said of like instead of wasting money on meetings, etc. That actually was a good point of view. That he talked about how governments they waste money in terms of like meetings as G20 or G8. Why embody culture could be a good part of the new better system to change things without making the consumerism part of it. Art and culture and ideas have the power to change and give a solution to some problems. It just takes engagement and belief in what you can do and what you can create in others through your work. And actually that's true. I mean, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if it was because other people inspired me to do and film. I mean, I like this industry because I have a lot to give. I know that, and there's people that actually inspire me to go through that. And it's pretty much like a give and receive process. That's how it works. That's how I think world should go. But in this specific industry, we actually can do that. And sometimes we just don't see it. Basically you can actually check the link because there is the whole life there. Actually, I remember that because the camera actually recorded me and Katerina at the end of that one. We're going to skip those points because basically it's kind of a list I did and the points that I've been talking to you basically. So this is the links for my experience, like the generation competition winners, the documentary, the short film winners. There is the list of them in each one. I would recommend to you, because I wish I could actually show you most of the films and the clips, but the clips actually are in each link of them. I really recommend you guys to just go check the links, find find at least the trailers and the clips of the winners, because there is actually really good material over there this year. There's actually the winner this year. Nobody thought that it wasn't even the list of the favorites, and they did win. So I guess that's one of the things you need to basically like start to think about. Is like sometimes, I mean, you can think like, yeah, this is not worth this crap, or this is not a good thing. You just need to risk it sometimes. I think everything right now, doesn't matter what you do in life, doesn't matter what industry you go and what you're gonna work, everything is a risk. But it's a good risk, and that's how life is about. I really got very inspired by some of those films, mostly for the short films that were competing this year. I have to say, yes, I'm really proud that actually my country, again for a second year, got another one, but as well the Mexican as well, but because they had something to tell, they had that, I don't know, that message. And I know some people sometimes say that independent film and mostly foreign independent film, it's something that probably I'm not going to understand. You never know. I'm actually more interested the last few years in independent and foreign film than actually commercial film. And even the commercial film, for example, talking about, for example, Logan. Actually, Logan did the premiere back in Berlinale. I was there. You can see the difference between that specific film being from Marvel and being like a part of the blockbuster, and the difference between that film and the rest of the films. Because the production, it wasn't like, you can see the production is not the same. And even like the quality and in terms of script, of the plot, so different. It's like, from my point of view, it was more human than the previous saga, let's say, if you want me to tell that. But like I said, it's just a group of many different things that it works in a film. That's what actually like I've been learning through seeing different kind of films from different countries. Some countries, of course, are not like really interested, but exploring it, that's a good point. I remember, like, for example, I took Yami to see one of the films of my favorite directors, Alex de la Iglesia, and he's Spanish. He's quite big, and back there, but as well he did The Crimes of Oxford, like 10 or 15 years ago, with Yellow Hood. He's actually directed that film, and basically I went to see the new film that was premiering there. It was the first time for Yemi. And actually that film room, which is the one that Sarah said that it was a theater, it was full. At the end of the film, everyone was like, you could see like people was laughing, people was like, it was, I don't know, actually, if I can, actually I'm gonna really put the trailer of that, because it's interesting to see, and I really want you to just, you know, just to see how the quality of the film was, just through the trailer.
Un café con leche, por favor.
No, la gente debería ver. ¡Hijo de puta! Vamos a morir todos.
No, desde luego, vamos, cenando aguardiente todos los días.
Todos los días no, ¿eh? Pero un es ganar toda la cabeza. Bienaventurados los muertos. Y dadle con la espada de fuego, dijo.
¡Joder! Punto colado, cojones.
¿Por qué no hay nadie? Estoy llamando, pero no me da señal.
No hay cobertura.
Puede que no sepa que estamos aquí.
¿No están?
¿Dónde están los muertos de la plaza? Todos.
Hemos dado por hecho que hay un loco disparando, no puede ser otra cosa.
Acaban de matar a 2 personas en el centro de Madrid y nadie dice nada.
Si el peligro es tan grande, no van a parar ante nada.
¿Qué es este maletín?
¡No lo toques!
Puede que el asesino no esté fuera, sino aquí dentro.
Hay un asesino entre nosotros. ¿Me estás diciendo que nos vamos a morir?
No, estamos diciendo que ya estamos muertos.
de otra cosa que pueda haber pasado, que mira que no la quería decir, es que los años han decidido.
Esto es muy fuerte, de verdad.
What's the name of the actor in the...
Which one?
The costume that... I think he's... I don't know. I think he's the last one that speaks. He
Which
says, no lo sé, with the black suit. What's the name?
He's Argentinian actually. I can't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, I can't remember the name of him. But he works a lot as well in Spain in cinema there.
Yeah,
there's this kind
one of them is Mario Casas.
Yes.
And the
The
other
other one-
that guy is Argentinian. Like, okay.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I know because he's been working in a lot of different films,
Yeah.
mostly for Alex, but as well for the new directors, like the new generation of directors going on, which is actually the director for Masterclass. He's Spanish, and actually even the people that are into the producing of the film, they all come from Spain. And actually now, the director of that same film is the one that actually is directing Jurassic Park, the new one. So that's the new generation of people that actually started from nothing. And they, I think people sometimes like, in terms of like, let's put Spanish cinema in this case, they just know Almodóvar. But then you have many others. You have as well Isabel Gochet, which is actually, she does documentaries and more different films, but as well with kind of a meaning, which is more about society and different kind of things, in terms of like disability or about climate change, or this kind of stuff. But Alex, in this case, I've been following him since I was very young. I think his first film, I was like around 16, 17, and it was pretty much in the same style like this one, which was like La Comunidad. The same actress, actually, that old lady that you saw that giving the clap, she's been working for Alex for years, and she's been in theater as well. She's pretty much like the same generation as the mother of Javier Bardem, which most of people know. So they pretty much like the Judi Dench in Spain, for you to have a look on that. But they start from nothing, and actually Alex as well, he's producing new generation of filmmakers there as well. There was another film called La Piel that actually was in the competition in Berlinale, and he was a producer. I mean, there's this kind of things. I mean, and they actually like these people basically they're supporting each other and supporting new people, because actually the government just do all like cut straight away all the funds regarding film, and it's very hilarious because actually part of the money that goes to the government arts, let's say, a huge percent comes from films in terms of like what they earn. So it's just like, what actually we get from that, because actually this is a huge percentage, like 21% of VAT in terms of culture, when people have to pay for like culture and going to cinema back in Spain, which they cannot afford if you have like a minimum percentage of minimum wage of 800 euros a month, which is nothing. So if you think about that, that's actually like how they do it. There is actually Yemis and Katerina. They put as well their experience on a word writing. I wish I could have more time to show you because it's getting like really short. But I'll upload everything on the Google Drive. We'll post it on the website and as well in the group, so everyone can download it and you can read it through. Because it's interesting because part of the films I saw, it was as well with Katerina and Yemi. There is as well the perspective, and you can actually like search on YouTube like the clips and everything, and probably you can even find the films because most of them they're already online, so you can actually find them. How to submit your work? You can compete with portfolio or a short film to the talents, and it's true. So if you do Basically. Okay, this is my account basically. So now they have the new online submission, which will be activated in September. Now, this is an idea. This is basically an idea I did have as well, but I'm giving that to you for the ones that really want to do something. You have a whole summer of 4 months after you finish your stuff in May, to the ones that are finished already 3rd year, to the ones that are in 2nd and 1st, doesn't matter. You have a whole summer to think about it. You've been doing stuff, you can keep doing stuff. You can build your portfolio and apply with your portfolio. You can create an account and follow. There's a couple of links that actually explain the general guidelines for submission and participation. You can submit a short and then just follow the procedures, which is normally around October. So you have the deadline starts in September and it finishes in October. And then, you know, short films is in November, but they always like keep a track on if you are in or not. Think about it, because it's a good opportunity for everyone. I mean, why not? Anyway, I mean, what are you risking? Just going? It's not about even winning or not. It's just an experience. So, and it's actually a good one, because if you think about it, from all the festivals going on around Europe, this one is one of the top. So, it's a good thing to just go there, start meeting stuff, meet people. It's like an extra plus of what you're doing in here. Because I know you guys, I mean, we all know, we're on the same thing. Like, yes, we are doing this, but after this, there's much more. This is just like, I feel this is pretty much like, I need to do this, because this is the procedure of how it's going on. I need this degree. Because this degree is basically, doesn't matter what I do, I have it, done. But after this, you can do whatever you want. And that's how this is about. I mean, you can keep exploring what you're going to do in life. But it's not like, oh my God, I don't know. Don't stress it out, really, because it doesn't matter. But this is a good opportunity to go there and actually can just help you to figure out what you want to do.
Nancy.
Yeah.
Another idea is like, we can do it as a society.
Yeah, we can, as a team. But that's the thing. I mean, one of the things I'm most proud of this year, and to be honest, is just having you as my team. I mean, be you. I mean, I'm part of this team. I mean, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be even here. So that's one of the things I'm most thankful about. But it doesn't matter if we're even around, or if we finish or whatever we go, we can keep doing stuff. Like for example, Ian has been here for just a semester, but he's been doing a lot of stuff. And like I said to him, it's like, doesn't matter if you get back to the States. I mean, next year I'm finishing, I can go for a few months and everything, or we never know. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we've been doing. And I know when I finish this, I'm going to be like 6 months there, 5 months there, because this is going to be my job about for sure. But,
Mine as well.
good point. But, like I said, I mean, my idea, and I've been telling you this like for at least this month, is like, I really want Next Move Wise to be a company production. I really want that. And I know we can do it. But that's the thing. We need to work as a team properly. I'm not saying like, I mean, I know we have stuff to do right now. But when that's the thing, that we have the society, and then we're going to have a company production outside. So we can keep doing stuff when you finish there. We can still growing. It's like a kind of a process, you know? That's how it works. That's the idea. And I've been working really hard to put that together. I mean, I have a deadline for the 17th to ask for the bursary. And like I said, I have a few editings going on until this week. I have that to finish. I was finishing this afternoon, and I haven't slept just a few hours the last 2 days. But still, I mean, we are in the same boat. I just don't want you guys to stress about, because it's like, I know what's that. And I don't want as well people like, if you have any problem, if you have anything, I mean, as well we are a society or a group of people, that's what we are about. I mean, I know a lot of you already, and I've been super proud of each work of you. I mean, Alice is in illustration, and the amount of work you've been doing. Rosie, I mean, your props. Seriously, I'm speechless. Like when I went to my room that day and I saw so many different props, I was like, wow. I mean, you're really talented, guys. You are. If you weren't talented, you'd probably not even be here. Just think about it. And I know things are hard and difficult and everything, but as well as a question of perspective and give priority to stuff. Sometimes life gets in the way. I can say that. But it keeps going. And we can't support each other. We can't talk to each other. You say, look, I need this, I need that. Like Alice yesterday, I was like, oh, I was doing stuff, but she needed help with the sound. I figured it out in the way I could figure it. That's how it works. You need to trust as well more in your capacity of doing stuff. Like for example, we have, for next month, we have at least 4 projects. 4. And I'm still waiting for people, I'm still waiting for people as well to give me a hand to Chloe's as well. Because I have part of a documentary that I didn't finish about mental health that I'm probably going to reuse for Chloe's project, but I need as well someone to help us with the rest of the writing. And we don't need a massive writing, but we need something to help it. Even if it's 3 pages, so we can work on that and we can do it. That's it, and then it's done, and then we have something. That's it, that's the only thing we need. I mean, I have different things that I'm going on. I have to finish stuff, I have to present ideas for my dissertation for next year. I've been having like a week as well, everyone has it, but we can do stuff. And we can still give priorities. That's what I'm telling you. So that's the main idea. And conclusion. You create your own limitations, and only you can set up how far your goals can go. That's the idea of the conclusion. I think it is. I don't think there is limitations for anyone. We actually set up limitations. And there's, mostly for creative people, I think we sometimes we thought probably at a time in our life they say, like, oh, I'm going to become crazy. That's, I mean, if you're doing this or any kind of artistic kind of ways, just because you like to do what you want to do and you want to dedicate your life doing it. And if you set limitations in that point, I don't know, I mean, you need to really think about it. In terms of you just need to keep exploring stuff in a good way. If you want to go to next film festival, the 20th to the 25th of June in Portugal. I said this like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So it's going to be quite massive because I think some of you saw what's going to be there and who's going to be there. There is a really huge ground of speakers, and there's going to be the people from the editing of Arrival, to the guys who work in terms of producing for Guillermo del Toro, for people from Dolby as well. There's going to be massive there. This basically works pretty much similar to what is Berlinale, because you have the training ground, which is like a lot of master classes you can take, and that is included on your basically when you pay your entrance to go there, which is basically like the card, and you get the card and you have access to everything. So have a look. If you want to go, let me know. I have a list of people already, but I need that list so I can give it to John and we can make things around. So you don't have to go those days. You can go for 2 days or whatever. But if you really want to go, have a look. Let me know until next week. so I can sort that out. By now, I think I have 5 people, more or less. But if there is anyone interested, and you basically don't have anything to do in that precisely time or 2, let me know, okay? So, that's it. I hope to see you next year, hopefully for Berlinale. We'll do some stuff. So, yeah, that's the Facebook event as well. It's going to be next year from the 15th to the 25th of February. So, yeah. Thanks for coming.